Random question. Was Russell Simmons managing y'all at the time?
No, but I remember when we wanted him to. I remember, like, kid, I love that dude, the stuff we went through, man, because, dude, it took a while for them to get our name straight. We weren't Kid and Play. They called us Sid and Clay. All kinds of stuff. Doors being slammed in our face when cats didn't really know what to do with us and the whole nine. And I remember, it would have been a big deal for us to be a part of that Russell Simmons, empire and stuff. And I remember going to an office where it's almost like you're going to see the Wizard of Oz. You think this office is going to be whatever. And we went there. It was like no furniture. It was just this desk. I think he just had a sandwich from Subway sitting on it. And he's filling his face and speaking to us with his mouth half full. And basically just told us, I wouldn't know what to do with y'all. I wouldn't know what to do. And looking back, I understand now because he has his brother and D and all of them. So it's like, okay, where do you guys, what is this with, and Houdini and all the rest? He wasn't feeling it. He couldn't see it, but maybe he was telling the truth, or maybe it was a way to just kindly brush us off. He's like, I wouldn't know what to do with y'all.
No, that's fair. That's fair. At the time, he had a lot of groups, and he had his hands full. Y'all, one of the other things I will give to y'all, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, y'all bought gear, like really gearing into the game. Y'all didn't dress like a typical rapper. Y'all really bought designer clothes, and it was more of a fashion statement when you looked at Kid and Play. Was that something that, from your standpoint, we're just doing what we normally do, or was it a finely crafted image that you wanted to go down?
You know this, man. It's like, I think that would be the one thing that differentiates, I always wanted to say that word, between an era then and an era now. And not to say that cats today are conscious that they're doing it or not doing it, but then it was very important to be as unique as possible. Very important, and it was always that iron sharpening iron, even though it was very competitive at that time, but it was always about, how am I going to stand head and shoulders above the rest? So it was a very conscious effort on my part, is what will we do visually in my contribution to be able to achieve that? And we saw that that's what was missing, but influenced somewhat when you looked at Houdini. They weren't doing it like Run DMC. They were like GQ, you know what I'm saying? In a way, but that was the thing with everybody. How can I do this? How can we be different in every way possible without taking it too far? So that was my angle on that, as far as our look and things of that nature. And like I said, for me, women were everything. So I want to pay attention to what the girls like. You know what I'm saying? So if this is what's going to get their attention, and to get a specific type of quality of woman, so to speak, that had a lot to do with what your presentation was. Because I had always been into older women, or like for as long as I can remember. So you ain't really going to come on some teenage tip. You're going to show you're a little bit more than what you may appear to be, if you can.
Got you. Speaking of being different, how does Kid and Play wind up on tour with NWA? How does that come about?
We were very much loved by Chuck D. Still is. And at the height of Public Enemy's dominance, we did every one of their tours. I am so humbled, and it could almost bring tears to my eyes to think about what we not only were able to witness, but to be a part of. So we're just finishing up another umpteenth tour with Public Enemy. So one of the promoters, the last show of this particular tour, I just want to hurry up and get up to my room, freshen up, change up, come downstairs again, girls, after party. So I come downstairs, and I come down kind of late. And my favorite drink, or I wanted to reward myself at the time, is I love virgin pina coladas. Someone had told me, yo, bar shut down, guy ain't trying to hear it, the bartender. I rarely, and I do mean rarely, like to play the play card. But this cat, he's angry. He's like, yo, that's it. Bar's closed. So I try to position myself at the bar to go under the light a certain way so he can see who he's saying no to, so he can see he's saying no to play. So basically he goes, I don't care who you are. The bar is closed. Oh, well, I'll do without. So one of the promoters comes to me and he says, man, we're ready for the next tour. So he gives me the lineup. I really don't want to hear this. I'm already late for my drink. I don't want to be late for the woman of my choice. So he's like, yo, we got this thing, NWA. He's naming all these groups. And he goes, Public Enemy, of course, NWA. I was already privy to NWA from our time in LA so much. I had heard the cassette tapes prior to them ever blowing up. And like I said earlier, I could curse with the best of them. But like, yo, these guys, this is some other stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? So when he came to me with this, I think he thought I didn't know about NWA. And I'm like, nah, dude, nah. So I didn't want to be unreasonable. So I told him, I said, listen, because he's getting on my nerves now. He would not leave me alone. I said, listen, if you're able to get me a pina colada, I will do the tour. Because I know that the thing shut down. So I kind of had the thing stacked, rigged, knowing he ain't going to get no pina colada. He's like, are you serious? And he didn't know I knew that who he was going to deal with that is closed. So I go over there, make my way to a woman kicking it. This guy doesn't only come back with one pina colada. He comes back with 2.5 pina coladas. And I have to keep my word. I've always been a person of my word. That's how we ended up being a part of that tour, which was so humbling, because who knew that it was going to be as part of history? Like when I saw Straight Outta Compton and seeing that first thing they did, we were there. You know what I'm saying? We were on that show. Our relationship to Tupac, all of that. Some of the stuff we witnessed, but I'm not one to make a big deal out of it. You know, what do they call it? What's the word they call it now when you're...
clout chasing?
Clout?
Clout chasing?
Yeah, all of that stuff is like, yeah.